There are great shooters in the game. Then there's Caitlin Clark. She doesn't just shoot from deep, she pulls from another galaxy. And the craziest part? You expect it to drop. Every time she steps across half court, the defense stretches farther than it wants. The crowd leans forward and the tension in the air shifts because when the ball touches her hands, anything can happen. This isn't about floor spacing anymore. This is about redefining where the floor even begins. She'll pull up from the logo like it's a mid-range jumper. She'll step back with two defenders draped on her, and you can already hear the net before the shot even hits it. There's no hesitation, no extra motion. You don't watch Caitlin to see if she makes shots, you watch to see how far she's willing to take them. So if you've ever seen a possession where you thought, there's no way she takes that, this one's for you. These are Caitlin Clark's most ridiculous threes. The ones that freeze defenders, silence crowds, and make the impossible feel routine. This is the kind of play that most shooters avoid, because it's not just about range, it's about rhythm. And when you're sprinting full speed off the ball, twisting your body to locate a pass and trying to stay balanced while a defender is chasing you, rhythm becomes hard to find. But Caitlin Clark isn't like most shooters. She doesn't wait in the corner. She's constantly moving, sliding around screens, cutting off angles, drawing attention. She makes defenders chase her and then punishes them for not keeping up. On this play, she's curling around a screen, barely slowing down. The defender is right behind her, trailing tight. Most players would take a beat, gather their footing, maybe kick it back out and reset. But Caitlin doesn't need that extra second.
Did not hit a three in the first quarter, the Mystics. Clark way downtown, knocks down a three.
She catches on the run, sets her feet midair and lets it go before the defense can even react. The shot's up in one motion, clean, fast, and impossible to contest. And just like that, it's in. Just movement, timing, and muscle memory. This isn't a player chucking threes. This is someone who has mastered how to get to her spots, even without the ball, and fire with precision at full speed. You can chase her, you can bump her, you can crowd the catch. But if she's squared up before you close that last step, the ball's already gone. And if Caitlin's the one shooting it, good luck. There are moments where nothing seems urgent. No pressure on the ball, no aggressive closeouts, no sense that anything big is coming. Just a routine possession, move it around, shift the defense, run your set. The ball swings casually across the top of the arc. The floor is spaced, but nothing's really developing, until Caitlin Clark touches it. In that instant, everything changes. The defender starts creeping up, unsure whether to challenge or contain. She's not quite close enough to contest the shot, but not far enough to ignore it either. That hesitation is the difference. Because while most players are still deciding what to do next, Caitlin has already made up her mind.
And a fever. They make sure that the ball moves around until it gets back in the hands.
She catches the pass, sets her feet, and lets it fly, from way beyond the three-point line. Just a cold-blooded three from deep space, like it's the most natural thing in the world. Just a clean release from well outside the arc that drops straight through the net, like she practices it every day. Because she does. The defender barely has time to react before the shot is already gone. And by the time she gets a hand up, it's too late to matter. This isn't a reckless pull-up or a lucky heat check. It's a deliberate shot taken with full confidence, total control, and a deep understanding of exactly where her range begins. And when she's connecting on looks like that in the early stages of the game, it sends a clear message: you're going to be chasing her all night, and you still might not be close enough. In most situations, when a player gets met with a double team near the arc, the ball swings somewhere else. It's the textbook response: draw the pressure, find the open teammate, keep the offense moving. That's the smart play. But Caitlin Clark doesn't always follow the textbook, because sometimes she doesn't see two defenders as a problem. She sees them as an opportunity. In this play, she's drifting to her right. Both defenders track her, anticipating a pass or maybe a reset back to the top. But she never stops moving. Her footwork stays clean, her body stays squared, and most importantly, her eyes never leave the rim.
She's only shooting 67% from three.
Clark on a step back, buries a three.
She steps into it with confidence and fires. Over two defenders. Just pure rhythm. And somehow, some way it drops. It's not just the distance, it's the mindset. Most players would have bailed out of that play, most would have passed, pivoted, or tried to force something at the rim. But Caitlin doesn't run from the pressure, she thrives in it. And the shot she just hit? That's the kind that breaks more than defensive schemes. It breaks morale. Because if you send 2 and it still doesn't work, what do you even try next? When most players are isolated at the top of the key with no screen, no cut, and no spacing, the play usually stalls out. The defender stands their ground, the offense resets, and maybe, if you're lucky, you get a decent shot at the end of the clock. But with Caitlin Clark, isolation doesn't mean slowdown. It means showtime. She takes a single glance at the defense, tight coverage, full focus, arms extended, and that's all the information she needs. No panic, no extra steps, no wasted dribbles. Just a read, a move, and a plan already forming in her head. What happens next isn't just instinct, it's training, confidence, and vision.
Gives it a swipe. Clark, step back, hits a 3!
Behind the back, step back to her left, pulls up from deep. The defender's still recovering as the shot's already sailing. And when it lands, it's all net. She didn't just create space, she erased the defender completely. It wasn't a broken play. It was a broken ankle, hidden inside a highlight reel 3. And that's what makes her so dangerous. She doesn't wait for space to open up, she takes it. She doesn't rely on timing or structure, she dictates it. And when defenders try to match her pace, they learn fast that there is no matching it. That's not flashy for the sake of a highlight. That's just what happens when you give Caitlin Clark the ball and 1 second of freedom. And once she's got that, it's already too late. The opening minutes of a game are usually about settling in, feeling out the defense, moving through a few simple sets, getting comfortable on the floor. Most players ease into the action, look for rhythm, and wait for a few touches before making a move. But Caitlin Clark doesn't wait. She sets the tone. Right from the jump, the defense is sagging slightly. Maybe they're thinking she's going to run the play, swing the ball, look to get others involved first, and maybe for a second she lets them believe that. But the moment she takes one glance at the gap in coverage, that hesitation disappears.
Bounce up there with steals. And she'll take the first three-pointer and knock it down.
She pulls up early, way earlier than the defense expected, and lets it fly from deep. And it's good. Before the opposing team even has a chance to get comfortable, they're already playing from behind. That's what Caitlin does. She doesn't wait to feel the game, she controls it. She decides how the pace is set, who has the momentum, and where the pressure lies. And when she starts a game with a 3 like that, it sends a message. Not just to the other team, to everyone watching. She's here and she's ready. And this game, it's hers now. Most fast breaks follow a simple rule: get to the rim, push the ball, find the open lane, finish strong, or draw a foul. It's all about efficiency, especially in transition. Even the best shooters in the game typically wait until the defense is back before they start looking for threes. But Caitlin Clark doesn't care about convention. She doesn't wait for a set. She doesn't need numbers. If she sees the opening and she's across half court, she's a threat. In this moment, she brings the ball up the court with a defender backpedaling. There's no pass coming, no screen waiting. Just her, the ball, and the space ahead of her.
Bonner gets denied by Boston. Wheeler finds Clark from the logo.
And that's all she needs, right across the timeline. Without breaking stride, she pulls it from deep. Just a quick rise up and a clean release. And the result? A perfect swish. The defender can only watch it drop and hope that next time, they pick her up sooner. This isn't a heat check, it's not a gamble. It's Caitlin understanding exactly where she is and what she's capable of. It's knowing that for most players, this would be a bad shot. But for her, it's automatic. That's what makes her dangerous in transition. You have to guard her the second she crosses half court. And even then, it still might not be enough. There are two ends of the floor, and Caitlin Clark isn't just changing games with her shot. She's doing it with her hustle. On this play, it starts with defense. Clark fights through the screen, stays locked on her assignment, and times her contest perfectly. Most guards might swipe or foul in that situation. But she doesn't bite, she goes straight up, she gets the stop. And before anyone else has time to react, she's already moving the other way. No celebrating, no pointing, no calls for the ball, because she already has the ball, and she already knows what she's about to do with it.
Through turns, ducks in, Benley stays with her, blocked from behind, that was Clark. Now Clark looking to push, cross-court pass. Pull, back to Clark, she will launch and bury a 3.
One quick dribble across half court, and she pulls from way out. The defender doesn't even get a hand up in time. There's no chance to rotate, because she didn't wait for them. The shot drops clean. In the span of a few seconds, she went from anchoring a defensive stand to drilling a logo 3 like it was nothing. That's not just versatility. That's control. Most players affect one side of the game. Clark can flip both back-to-back in real time. This isn't a highlight. It's an example of what happens when your shooter is also your spark plug. She stops your best look, then takes the next one you were supposed to have and turn it into 3 points the other way. That's how stars dominate. Sometimes the best plays don't come from clean setups or perfect spacing. Sometimes the play breaks down completely, and that's where Caitlin Clark gets dangerous. This possession looks like a mess from the start. The ball is loose. The defense swarms. It's not organized or scripted. There's no time to run through options. Most players would pick it up, reset, and try to salvage something from the chaos. Caitlin doesn't reset. She reacts. She scoops up the ball on the run, barely getting her feet under her. No time to think. And somehow, she finds her balance.
Here's Clark. Picked up now by Dee Richards as she's into the ball game. Richards on the floor. Clark, the step back 3 just below the logo, drills it.
From just inside the logo, fading slightly to her left, she pulls up and fires. And it drops. Just pure. That's the difference. Where most players panic in broken plays, Caitlin Clark sees opportunity. Her body control, her confidence, her muscle memory, it all kicks in. She doesn't need structure. She is the structure. And when a game turns messy, she doesn't clean it up, she punishes you for it. The end of a quarter is where superstars make their mark. When the clock is winding down and defenders lock in tight, most players look for a clean shot, maybe play it safe and hope for a whistle. But Caitlin Clark plays the clock like she plays the defense, on her terms. She dribbles into the final seconds, patient but dangerous. The defender is stuck between forcing the ball out of her hands or risking the shot she knows is coming. And that's the problem. Knowing doesn't help you stop it.
Themselves into an early hole here. Clark looking to get going. Oh, that's a deep 3.
She takes one step to her right, gives the tiniest hesitation, then pulls from way outside. All while the clock is nearly gone. And she drains it. Quarter over. What's wild isn't just that she hit it. It's how easy she made it look. She knew the timing, she knew the distance, and she trusted the shot. When the moment gets tight, a lot of players shrink. Caitlin rises. You can't teach that. You can only watch. Normally, when a guard drives toward the elbow, you expect a pull-up jumper, a mid-range floater, maybe a dish to the wing. That's how most plays are drawn. You collapse the defense, then either finish or kick. But Caitlin Clark isn't interested in the expected. Instead of taking the obvious shot, she pulls it all the way back. She resets, not to regroup, but to reload. And in doing so, she drags the defender to a place they never wanted to be.
Austin's been held to 4 points in the first half. Here is Clark. Launches and hits.
She steps back well beyond the arc and fires without hesitation. And of course, it's good. It's not just the distance that makes it absurd. It's how casual it looks. The footwork, the timing, the follow-through, none of it looks rushed. That shot isn't a gamble, it's part of her arsenal. Defenders have to cover her from places that aren't even on the scouting report. And when she hits from there, there's not much you can say. Just shake your head and get back on defense. Contact is part of the game, but when you're Caitlin Clark, it feels like the refs let a little more slide, maybe because she's good enough to finish through it. This play starts like so many others: tight defense, quick movement, a slight bump on the perimeter. For most players, that kind of contact throws everything off. The rhythm breaks, the timing gets shaky, and the shot, if it even goes up, is rushed and off balance. But Caitlin Clark doesn't flinch.
More of that from her, catching around that 15-foot area. Clark connects!
You can see the bump just before she rises. The defender clearly leans in, body to body. No whistle. No problem. The ball's already on its way. And it doesn't just graze the rim, it hits nothing but net. That's the part people overlook. It's not just her range, it's her toughness. She's not relying on clean looks or generous calls. She's taking what's there, creating what isn't, and delivering even when the situation's stacked against her. And if the refs won't call it, she'll still make the shot. That's what you call undeniable. The team's down. The defense is locked in. These are the moments that reveal who you really are as a player. Some second guess, but Caitlin Clark, she locks in. This isn't about running a perfect play or waiting for the clock to bail you out. This is about needing a bucket now and knowing exactly who has to take it. The defender is ready, crowding her high, giving up no space at all. But Caitlin doesn't need much. She sizes up the coverage and goes for it.
That signature Caitlin Clark shot. She will launch. Oh, yes!
She launches it deep, contested, pressured, and with everything on the line. And it lands perfectly. That's not a shot most players even consider. But she doesn't just consider it, she trusts it. You don't make that shot without thousands of reps. Without total belief in your ability to change the game in one move. And when the moment feels heavy, Caitlin Clark makes it feel light. This one is clean. Just pure isolation. Caitlin's got the ball near the wing, defender up tight. Everyone in the building knows what's coming, and there's still nothing they can do about it. It's the kind of setup that doesn't scream highlight until it happens.
Another second chance opportunity. Clark fire away and knocks down a three.
She gives a subtle jab, keeps the ball low, and stays calm. With one slick motion, she steps back, creates just enough space, and fires. Textbook form. Perfect result. The defender reacts a second too late. By the time she lifts her arm, the ball is already in the air. And it's not just the bucket. It's the way Caitlin handles it, like this is just part of the routine. Because for her, it is. That's what makes it special. Not the move itself, but how normal she makes it look. She just runs her game, and the highlights take care of themselves. Screens are meant to create separation. They're a tool, set it tight, angle it right, and free your shooter. But when it's Caitlin Clark running the play, sometimes the screen doesn't even need to work. Because if you're a second late, if you're half a step behind, that's all she needs. On this play, the screen is coming, but the defender's already scrambling. She's fighting through it, trying to recover, and Caitlin knows it. She doesn't wait for contact. She doesn't even fully use the pick. She reads the coverage and sees the opportunity before the play even finishes.
Sides told us we have got to find a body on Reese. Clark gets freed up.
One quick gathering. The shot's already up. It's money. The screen became a distraction because she didn't need it. And that's what's terrifying for defenses. You can run perfect rotations, but if Caitlin gets even a sliver of daylight, you're done. That's how you know she's operating on another level. She doesn't just punish missed coverage, she punishes half-decent coverage. And when that ball splashes through the net, it's already too late to figure out what went wrong. There are few things worse for a defense than doing everything right and still losing the possession. That's what happens here. The defense is aggressive. There's pressure on the catch, a hand in the face, a hard closeout. It's physical, borderline too physical. But Clark doesn't flinch. She sees the contact coming, balances herself mid-air, and still commits to the shot.
No pass shot possessions for New York. Clark, step back three. Oh, she hit it and draws the foul.
The whistle blows and the shot drops. And now it's not just 3 points, it's 4. The defender walks away frustrated, arms out, confused. But there's nothing left to argue. It was clean, it was tough, and it was still good. That's the thing about Caitlin. She's not looking for the foul. She's not throwing her head back or hunting the whistle. She's just playing through the contact, finishing her shot, and trusting that if it goes in, the rest will sort itself out. And when it does, it's devastating. What should have been a stop turns into a game-breaking sequence. That's what a 4-point play does. And when Caitlin Clark's the one pulling the trigger, it feels like it happens every week. Caitlin Clark doesn't just shoot from deep. She turns those shots into regular, high-percentage looks. What used to be reserved for heat checks or desperation plays has become part of her standard shot diet. Once she crosses half court, defenders are already in trouble. They know she's a threat from 30 feet and beyond, but knowing doesn't make it any easier to stop. Every clip you just saw wasn't luck or momentum. It was intention. Whether it was off the catch, off the dribble, off balance, or coming straight out of transition, each three was taken with purpose and hit with confidence. These weren't broken plays or bailout heaves. They were choices, calculated, practiced, and repeatable. That's what separates her. It's not just that she makes difficult shots, it's that she chooses to take them. And she hits them often enough that they've become part of her identity. When she pulls from the logo, it's not a gamble, it's an advantage. And when she hits those shots early, the game changes for everyone on the court. What makes it even more impressive is the consistency. These plays aren't once-in-a-while flashes. She does it across games, across defenses, and under pressure. And she's doing it as a young player in a league that's never seen anything quite like her. So when people ask why ticket sales are skyrocketing, why arenas are full before tip-off, or why number 22 jerseys are everywhere, it's not just a media push or a temporary moment. It's because Caitlin Clark is giving fans something they've never seen before. A player who combines range, vision, skill, and swagger, and delivers night after night. You don't need a long explanation, you just need to watch her play. Because one shot is all it takes to understand. And Caitlin Clark? She's already given us more than enough.